Pisces, hi, this is going to be your monthly reading. Sorry about the camera, I'm new at the YouTube photographing videos, so you'll have to bear with me. But I am going to be doing your general reading. This is for March 2019. Hope you're all doing well. And I'm mixing your cards. Again, this is a reading for March 2019 for the sign of Pisces. Let's see what the cards have to say. I remember last month you had some nice cards. And this is your birthday season. So for many of you, you should be feeling really good. Usually the signs feel nice around their birthdays. It's your time of year. And I think Neptune is also in Pisces, so many of you should be pretty intuitive this month or have a lot of dreams that will give you insight. Neptune can sometimes also be a little bit of, not flightiness, but daydreaming, fantasizing, drinking, those kinds of things. But on the good side, it gives you intuition. Okay, I'm cutting your cards, and we'll see what your weather report is. The zodiac spread tells you what general influence is affecting different areas of your life, and that's why I tend to like this reading. It's good as a general idea of the influences operating for the month. And this is for you guys, Pisces. Okay, I've laid out your cards, and we're going to start your reading. Your first house is how people see you, Pisces. And this month, they see you in good partnerships. So you come across in the month of March as somebody who likes to work with positive people. You have a vision, you have a plan for the future, you're willing to put time and energy into it. At least that's how you're vibing to the world in the month of March. And some people are going to see you surrounded by helpful people, wanting to get maybe some entrepreneurial ideas into concrete form. This is good for business partnerships. And if it's a romantic relationship, you're on the same page in terms of, your long-term goals and what you'd like to attain in the future. It doesn't have to be only material attainment. It can be hopes and wishes. So this can be connected with creative ventures as well. The wands represent something that you draw from within and create, and so you're around people that are good for you this month. Okay, in your money house, you have a new friendship card. So for some of you, if it's still tax season, if you're still working with investments, you may have a new financial advisor that you find to be a very nice person, friendly, because this is the beginning of a new relationship. For some of you, your friends or a new friendship may turn you on to a new way to invest your money. This could be Bitcoin, it could be stocks, it could be switching around your 401k, it can be investing, your tax return. But there is a new influence in your money house. And so this can also, I guess, be online advice, but it's a new, fresh energy. So a lot of you will want to do something different or new with your money in the month of March. It's kind of a fresh start card. And it also can imply that a new friendship or acquaintance that you get along with, someone that you resonate with emotionally, will have an influence on your money. So a friend might get you a job or get you a connection to someone that will affect your finances. In your neighborhood, this is the third house. It's communications online, so it could be social media. It could be the neighbors that physically live next door to you. And it can also represent I guess, siblings and cousins. So someone around you is disappointed and they feel deflated. This person needs some emotional support, and you Pisces are pretty good at giving that. So don't be surprised if, somebody wears their heart on their sleeve and tells you their sob story. This can be, like I said, a family member, it can be a neighbor, it can be on social media. You're going to be hearing about someone who's emotionally disappointed and kind of going through a rough time. This is a card where the person feels that a lot of spilt milk has been spilt and they're still recovering or trying to get through the situation. In your home, you have a water sign, so for many of you, this is yourself. In the general readings, I don't pay as close attention to the male or female or the gender of the card, but however, it does signify the King of Cups. So for many of you that are men watching, you're feeling great right now in your own home. You're feeling you're the king of the rooster. The emotional balance is exactly the way you like it. You're feeling like you've come into your own. Even if you have a family, you're still feeling proud of yourself because your home reflects your emotional needs and your emotional haven. So for many of you males, you have created, the perfect home where you can thrive. It's just the way you like it. For females watching, this can be you, and it would mean that you're just a little more maybe proactive than usual about getting your home the way you want it, creative projects, ideas, your imagination. And for some of you that are female, there is a male energy in your home. And this would mean that, he sort of dominates the homescape. His emotional moods and his emotional needs come first. But generally, this is a polite person, and this is a person that sometimes has a family. So it's not implying selfishness, it's just meaning that, because it's the Pisces birthday season, this person is feeling really good in their own skin for the month of March. They've come into their own, like I said. For females, this could also represent you, but in a very strong place in the month of March. Okay, in your children house, the fifth house represents children. It also represents new relationships. New relationships I consider ones that have formed in the last 3 years, and that's romantic. So we'll start with the relationships. Lots of messages, news, movement. Some tarot readers consider this a card, maybe arrows of jealousy. I don't, but occasionally some jealousy can present itself. So for any of you Pisces that have formed a new relationship in the last 3 years, expect that you may get invitations to do day trips. There may be an unusual amount of communication from this person in the month of March. And again, it can be because it's your birthday season and making plans, texting, maybe a short trip for your birthday. But it's a card of fast movement, so things can change rather quickly. If it's your children, again, tons of messages, tons of communication. You may have to be driving or traveling and taking your kids to different places. It's considered a hectic card. It's busy, and the wands represent energy. So it's a positive card. You can expect a lot of communication coming and messages either from a new love or with regarding your children. In your work house, this is your health, it's sixth house, and your work, that's what it represents. And you have the Tower card here. Tower card is a challenge because oftentimes something will come up that you didn't expect. And so it throws you off a little bit, or you feel the carpet has been pulled out from underneath you. So I don't know, Pisces, which area this is going to hit you in, whether it's your job, your daily routine, your vocation, or if it's your health. But what you should anticipate in the month of March is an unforeseen happening. Sometimes it's not directly hitting you. You may hear through the grapevine that your company has merged with someone, the health insurance policy is changing in the company, uh, they're doing something different with your 401k, and you're surprised or shocked that you didn't know about it. In the worst case scenario, when this shows up at your job, it can mean someone may get fired suddenly, positions can be switched around, some people may be getting pink slips, and again, you didn't see it coming. So it doesn't mean that, you're going to be the recipient of this surprise or shock, but it means it will be happening either in the area of your work, and for some of you, this can be in terms of your health, being totally taken off guard by a health situation that you really didn't have any previous understanding or knowledge of. So some of you may find out that you're, allergic to lactose. Some of you may take some tests or have taken some tests medically, and something new has been uncovered or seen. And you know how that goes when you have like exams or medical tests. It will sometimes clue you into a deficiency you have or a disease you have, and you just get taken off kilter because you really didn't know that that was present in your scenario. So for the month of March, just be aware that you're either going to hear some news that's a little surprising about coworkers or your company, your job, or some of you may hear news about your health, and this could fall into dental, it could fall into any area. But, just forewarned is forearmed. Okay, now in your partnership house, this is saying that one of your partners is on the defensive. They've fought a lot to get where they are in life, and they've put a lot of time and energy into things. And sometimes they get irritated that they always have to defend their time or their turf or their ideas from other people. And so one of your relationships this month will be a little bit irritable, a little irascible, a little annoyed, and it's really a defensive mechanism. So this can be a partner, can be a colleague, especially with what's going on here in your workhouse. But it can also be a mate who just needs a little more space to themselves. It can be a family member. You bring something up and they get, their panties in a ruffle. They get a little agitated, but it really is about setting boundaries. So this month, walk on eggshells a little bit if you feel someone is edgy and irritable. It's because they just are a little exhausted and they feel life is a battle and they're tired. They're just tired of the battle. In your eighth house, this is the house of inheritances, legacies, shared resources, and it also covers your intimate life, which is really your sexual life, your bedroom. For some of you, this is an ending to a relationship or an ending to being lovers with someone. You've made a final decision with this card, and things will never be the same. You'll never go back to the way things once were. So for some of you, you have decided to end a love relationship or an intimate relationship. And that will be, you'll be very aware of that ending and the decision you've made in March to move on. In this relationship, I think you felt that you put everything in that you could, and it still just didn't come up right for you. And so for some of you, you did make the last farewell to a love partner or a lover. And like I said, it's pretty much final. I don't think you will return to that person as a lover. If this is regarding legacies, inheritances, it's saying things have come to the final completion and there should be a decision made, and the decision will be set in stone, black and white, and it will be final. So shared resources can be child custody, child support, anything to do with shared resources. So a decision definitely has been made or will be made in the month of March regarding anything to do with an inheritance or resources that you share with another person. In your ninth house, this represents publishing, higher education, travel, and it also represents lawsuits. Anything legal pending, you're all getting good advice in the month of March, even though I see that this is a finalization card of something, if it was about resources that's already been made. So you do have the good counsel and advice card. So most of you, if you are in anything to do with legality, immigration, custody, you're getting very good advice, even for business legal advice. If you're in publishing, same thing. You're getting really good advice. You're getting counsel. You're getting wisdom. This is a great card for higher education because it's saying that your instructors would be excellent and your education would be stewarded in a very wise way. And finally, if it's for travel, I don't think March is a great month for any long distance big trips. This is the card where you might get advice from people about where to go. This can be online or it can be, with people in the real physical world. But this is really a card of gaining wisdom. So unless you're going on a trip as a pilgrimage or as a spiritual retreat, they do have spas for massage and meditation, then yes, that would be a great trip. But if it's a regular trip, which is usually more hedonistic, sun and fun, I don't think you would relax and enjoy the trip because this has an element of, wisdom and teaching. That's part of the energy of this card. Okay, in your 10th house, you have a good card for work. So if some of you have felt a shake up, in the workplace because you have the tower in your work house, this is you and how you're seen in your career. And you're seen as a person who, understands finance, is a fair person. Equality and fairness is really important to you. You like to be compensated for the time you put in, but you're not greedy and you're not imbalanced with finance or money. So in your career house, you're seen as a fair person who gives as much as they try to receive from the career or the workplace or the company. And so this is a great card because it's a financial card of well-being and stability. And so for any of you that are feeling a shake-up or have a shake-up, if some of you are even affected by something that happens in your company and you're let go, in your career, you're in a very good position where people know that, you take your work seriously, you give as much as you receive, and you're a fair person, you understand finances. So even if some of you have to get a new job, I don't think it's going to be hard for you. And because you have a person or a new friendship showing up in your money house, many of you would get this new position through a new friend. Okay, now in your friendship house, you do have a final ending card here. So one of your friends may have just gone through something really awful. It could have been, the death of a family member, an abrupt ending in a job, a living situation, moving away from a city. So this person, again, is going to be pretty heavy. This is like the Beethoven's Funeral March card. It doesn't get a lot worse than this card. So one of your friends is suffering a great deal. They may have felt that people were not supportive at all of them, or they got stabbed in the back. So this person is going to be on your mind, and I think you're going to be feeling the devastation that they went through or that they're still processing because they're in your friendship house. And so it is a heavy card, and you just have to tell people, tomorrow is another day. Let them vent or speak or cry, whatever needs to happen here. But it isn't a light energy, and you may feel that this is going to overshadow your birthday a little bit, like someone's raining on your parade. And then finally, in your 12th house, this is the house that is considered your blind spot or what you don't see. And there's a person in this house, it's a fire sign person. They're young, they're energetic, they're enterprising, they're enthusiastic. And for some reason, you still have a lesson with this person that you haven't mastered. And it's a karmic situation. This is fire and you're water. And I always say that fire and water really don't get along as well as most card readers or astrologers like to say. I, in my experience, have always felt that it's not the most bright outcome when fire and water come together. There can be many lessons learned. From the Piscean perspective, this person would have more courage, more boldness, more creativity, and would surprise you because they have a very youthful energy, and they're just very empowered in making things happen or getting something done. And so, Pisces, this may be a person that you actually know that's a craw in your side right now, and you just haven't finished the lesson with them. And then if it's an aspect of yourselves for Pisces, it would mean that you want to be more like the fire element, which is more brave and more bold and more able to put your creative ideas out into the world and be less sensitive, because water is a very sensitive element and fire is a very animated, action-oriented energy. And these two energies are extremely different. So whether, this is a person that you haven't completed a cycle with, and they're going to be on your mind in the month of March, one way or another, or it's what you haven't developed in yourself, and it's kind of imprisoning you or holding you bondage or holding you back. The card does represent a younger person, so that may help some of you. But again, if some of you Pisces have fire in your moon or your ascendant, this is going to be an aspect of yourselves that you either have done too little of or too much of. But the fact that it's a page implies that there isn't real maturity yet with this energy or the characteristics of the card, meaning that I think for many of you, you have too little of this if it is reflecting a part of yourselves. Okay, so be aware that someone around you in your neighborhood or your family is disappointed, and it may be the same individual that just feels like the whole world fell apart on them. So even though this is your birthday month and you, excuse me, you have some good cards, you also have a little drama, in the workplace or regarding a health issue. But generally, you're vibing to the world, really good energy. People are seeing you as a go-getter, having a good vision of success for your future. In your home, you're all in your element, even if some of you have another partner that dominates a little bit. The water energy is there, there's emotional harmony. And then how you're seen in the world, in your career, is very nice. This is a good card. So there's a lot of good things to your reading. If you like my video, please hit the like button or subscribe. And I wish you a very happy birthday month, Pisces. And I'll see you back here next month. Take care.